What's up, Star Trek fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we got another fun one for you. Another one from our Playmates Star Trek collection that we are just absolutely hooked on now. And this is from our Collector Series Edition, the Star Trek Collector Series Edition, Federation Edition. Today, for your viewing pleasure, we have Lieutenant Commander Montgomery Scott, or as we know him, Mr. Scott. And the coolest thing, let's bring this guy in. Let's bring him in here. The coolest thing about Mr. Scott, it's not that he's the engineer and literally runs the Enterprise. He controls the Enterprise. He's takes care of all of the functions of the Enterprise. That's not the coolest thing. The coolest thing about Mr. Scott is his red shirt, his red crew shirt. As a kid, growing up, I didn't have Mr. Scott as the Mego figure. We didn't have Mr. Scott. That's the one figure we did not have growing up. I would have liked to have had him, but I had Kirk, we had Spock, Dr. Bones, Uhura. We didn't have Mr. Scott. And I wanted Mr. Scott because of the red shirt. It wasn't blue, it was in yellow. He had the red shirt. And I always thought the red shirts was really, really cool. And you know, if he beamed down to a planet, they weren't going to kill off Mr. Scott. So he was going to be probably the safest red shirt. But I would like to see Mego do more red shirt figures. Now that Mego is back, I would like to see Mego do Mr. Scott. And this beautiful Playmate figure is it's 9 inches tall. And I have been hooked on these figures. My good buddy and friend, Count Stankus, really we've been dialoguing about this and talking about these beautiful Playmate figures. And the more I talked to Count Stankus, the more and more I was getting hooked on these guys. So he's been doing his research, and I've been doing my research, and we've been really trying to track these guys down. And my good friends from the exchange here in Elyria, Ohio, where I live at, has a absolute ton of these figures. So I've been cleaning these guys out. I've been buying up a ton of these figures for your viewing pleasure and mine here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. We wanted to add this new toy line, the Playmates toy line, to our museum collection here. And once again, it's all about, this figure's from 1996. As you can see, kept beautifully, fantastic condition. And you know, our mission here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum is to protect and preserve the historical value of these beautiful toy lines. And we're excited about doing that. And this Playmates toy line that came out in the mid-1990s is a toy line that we are really locked on and very interested in because of the Star Trek line that they put out so many decades ago. And we are in the process of trying to really complete the collection. There's got to be well over 50 of these figures that Playmates put out, these 9-inch figures, and they're all beautifully detailed, just gorgeous. We're looking at, let's bring him in a little bit here and get you a closer look at him. We're looking at Mr. Scott's red shirt here. Look at the detail on the Starfleet emblem. The head sculpt of Mr. Scott was fantastic. All of the head sculpts on these, I just think they had the licensing rights. Playmates had the licensing rights, so all the head sculpts were just absolutely gorgeous. And all of his equipment, and he's got his phaser, multi-range light source. I'm going to say that's the multi-range light source. Engineering tool right there, and here's that phaser. That's a classic phaser. You know, we saw in one video, I think we were doing of, I want to say it was of Kirk. He had a Type 2 phaser, but this is I'm going to bring him down and get you a better shot of that phaser. There you go. Wait, let's sit him back up here. Yeah, that's they said it's a classic phaser. But I love those phasers. I'm hearing on my MIGO ambassador posts that some of the ambassadors were talking about these figures, and they don't like the chunky hands. I like the chunky hands. I like each toy line has its own sense of charm. You know, these figures were big, they were strong, they were durable, and kids were playing with these toys, you know. So, and I think the extra inch in size, a 9.5 inch size that these figures were built on, frame-wise with the body, allowed for more detail. You know, the bigger you make these figures, the more detail you can add to them because they're bigger. And that's including all of the awesome equipment. Look at the detail to the phaser. I mean, it's just great detail to all of the equipment. Head sculpt, everything. You see he's locked in. He's factory sealed. Still locked in. Behind him, he has a Starfleet base. That's sealed in plastic there. That's a stand. He can actually stand on that. And he's got some more paperwork behind that that's encased in plastic, which I love because, like I said, I know these figures are factory sealed. And he has his, let's check his collector's series edition. These were made, they were limited. They were made for collectors, but kids played with them. See, we got 2,932. That's featured in classic Star Trek. Guys, what do you think about our Playmates Star Trek Montgomery Scott figure? Do you have this guy? Are you looking for this guy? You can go to eBay and find these guys. The cool part that I'm finding these guys at my toy exchange is that I don't have to go through the process of ordering and waiting, and you know, I don't mind it, but you can't brick and mortar because we don't have Toys R Us anymore. You can't beat this. To be able to walk into a store, buy what you want, check it out, and see if it's in good shape, the condition that you're looking for, and take it home. And that's just, you're never going to be able to beat that combination. And that's the one thing I enjoy, being able to take these guys home as opposed to, yeah, sure, you can order it and yeah, you got it, but in a week, you have it. But this is really cool for me just to be able to go to my toy exchange and walk in there. The people were very friendly, very helpful. The young man that was helping me, these figures were way up on the shelf, and there were tons of them. He got a ladder, and he was extremely patient. He knew I was a collector, and he worked with me for, I want to say it took us about 20 minutes, because I had him going up and down that ladder about 20 minutes, because I wanted to see these figures, and I settled on about maybe 5 or 6 that I really wanted to add to our museum collection. And I'll go back and I'll get another 5 or 6. And that's the process, guys. And I'm getting better at that, guys. You'll be proud of me. I mean, I don't have to have everything right now. I'm getting better with that. As a collector, I know we all can attest to that. Seeing stuff that we want and matching it with our budget, and sometimes it doesn't match the budget. And so I'm getting really good with that, being able to leave stuff behind, because we just have so much here at the museum. But this is definitely a toy line that I am locked in on, I'm hooked on, and I want these Playmate figures, Star Trek figures. I want to complete the collection, and when I get like that, my mentality is to just really zero in on it and focus and really get these guys. But these are just beautiful, beautiful figures. The clothes, everything. Let's turn this guy around. Get you a blown out look here, the back of the box. And look what you get here. These are all the figures that come in this series, this line of series right here. All beautiful, beautiful figures. There's Lieutenant Uhura. And there's a picture of our Montgomery Scott. Fully articulated. It's an engineering tool, multi-range light source. There's a classic phaser. There's all the background Starfleet personal record information. Join the official Star Trek fan club. And I'm a Trekkie, guys. I am a huge Trekkie. Let's get you a year here. 1996. As you can see, this is sealed. Playmates. They just did a beautiful job on these figures. And like I said, I am in the process of getting all these guys. Guys, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with us today. Checking out our Star Trek Playmates Montgomery Scott, Mr. Scott 9-inch action figure today here at the museum. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. You know the routine, guys. God bless. And keep collecting.